Heyo, how's it going, internet? My name is Efrain, and there are two things I love in this world. The first is playing Skyrim, specifically on the console, because that's what I've been playing it for most of my life, and the second is hookers. And today we're taking a look at a mod that vastly enhances the fucking hideous design of one of my favorite parts of Skyrim. This mod makes like an exhibit, and pimps this bitch out. This is the Magical College of WInterhold. Okay, let's get started because there's a lot to see and very little time for me to explain everything. As you can already see, that the outer parts of the college is completely unchanged. The building is untouched. As soon as you walk into the gates, you can already see a bunch of like magical things, and a lot of the bushes have been whacked to make way for new shit. The statue is ultimately unchanged except for two fireballs the mage is now holding that ultimately add to the magical effect of this place. On the right, there are a couple of benches and tables with a giant tree on the left suspending mage lights, and on the tables are smaller trees of the same nature. On the left, as you could probably already see, is a garden for alchemy. Just tons of alchemy ingredients that you could harvest here, and they all grow back, so you don't have to worry about this. Thankfully, I have a moment to catch my breath as you examine all the kinds of stuff that you can find here. Oh boy, this is going to go great. I'm going to be talking faster than the Flash with a stick up his ass. But anyway, that is all available for harvest, and like I said, they all grow back. You even have some ingredients that you can find in the other DLCs. That barrier actually prevents snow from happening, but that has no effect on the plant life that grows there. It's ultimately just for effect, whether you want it snowy or very verdant and lush. I prefer mine as green as my dollar bills, y'all. On the right, there is a table filled with a bunch of miscellaneous items, including a study of alchemy, which can be found throughout the mod as decoration. You can't sell them for much, and they come with a bunch of like really cool little designs for each school of magic. More ingredients in an apiary for bees. The bees do not come back. Underneath the table are some midget barrels that are the fucking most adorable thing I've ever seen, but you can use those to stow items that you damn well please. And on the bottom are some skill books that you can go ahead and read. I already read this one, but this one increases your alchemy by 1 stage. So that's pretty cool. If you want to go ahead and level up your alchemy, there's a book immediately outside, so you can do that. This is a bag of enchanted soil. It doesn't do anything. It just fills up space in your inventory. To try to fucking fancy it up by calling enchanted soil, ultimately what you're going to be carrying around if you choose to pick this up is a bag of fucking dirt. Moving along, the Hall of Attainment, where you, the player, are assigned the minute you step into the college and you talk to Maribel Irvine. She's just like, all you fucking novice bullshit mages are assigned here. And as soon as you walk in the vanilla game, it's just a fucking horrendous sight filled with cobwebs and dust up the anus. But this mod does a great job of beautifying it up, adding a couple of more attire so you can go ahead and enchant that, as well as a lot of more containers so you can put all your shit that you've gathered from your travels. On the right hand side is a couple of potions for you to take on the road, and a skill book to enhance your destruction spell skills. And every room comes with a Shrine of Julianos that cures all diseases and gives you 10 points of extra magicka. So that's a pretty useful buff. And each room is actually outfitted with decorations that adhere to the denizen of the room. For example, this is the Dark Elf's room that you meet in your first lessons, just filled with a bunch of like Morrowind and Dark Elf kind of things that they would have, as well as a couple of skill books for destruction and conjuration, because I guess she's a major in that. There's another book that I was talking about. Doesn't do anything, just looks really cool if you choose to open it up. And a pretty cool statue of Azura that speaks just like, it's great. Moving right along to the upstairs section of the game. This is Minna. I thought she was a student NPC added in the mod, but she's not. She's actually part of another mod I have installed called the Sassy Teenager mod, which adds a bunch of NPCs that say really funny things. I might do a video on that because I find that mod very entertaining. Into the kitchen we go, and you can help yourself to some beef stew, some disgusting clam chowder, as well as a bunch of ingredients that you could use to make some delicious fucking food on your travels. Yeah, you got potato soup, clam chowder, beef stew, and no spaghetti.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Cooking pot, and over here are just some pastries and ingredients that you could take. Right, moving into the Hall of Countenance where all the senior mages are. This first room is the Illusion Mages, which I regrettably recorded because there's nothing really cool in here apart from the thing on the opposite side of the room, which I'll show in a bit. There are a couple of skill books that you could read in here for Illusion, and each senior mage has a little pedestal with a chunk of the type of magic that they focus in. For example, the Destruction Mage has a fucking fireball on top of a wooden shelf because she don't give a shit and she just wants to burn everything to the ground. This is the Conjuration Mage's room, probably the coolest one just because he has a little spell of soul trap on his desk. But that's ultimately it. More skill books, potions, and soul gems in here. Fucking Arniel Gain just gets in my way every single time. It must have been really excited about the fucking research he was doing because he just follows me out through the entire college and he's just like, oh man, check out this cool shit that you're never gonna get to see until you fucking complete the main quest line for this place. So you're about to see him 50 more fucking times. Moving upstairs in the Hall of Countenance, here we have the Enchanting Room, which adds 2 new items, Enchanted Dust, coming in the blue and green varieties, and they're found in the potions category, and they give you a slight buff, 3% of stamina regeneration and magic regeneration, but they're really just more suited for decoration, as you can just make potions that are more beneficial and grant you a much better buff. In the Enchanting Room, there are a couple of skill books you can read up for your enchanting purposes. If you want to go ahead and level up your enchanting, you're going to find every single skill book for the School of Magic that you want in the college somewhere. There's actually just a bunch of skill books just littered around here. The Enchanting Room also has a couple of artifacts and a bowl of soul gems just for added magical effect and aesthetics. I will say that this mod does a really good job of just kind of making this place come more alive and making it seem like it's a much more magical place. These amateur health potions are shit, so I just chug one down real quick. We're going to be moving on to the alchemy room of this building. It adds 2 new little cauldrons that you can interact with, but on the shelves they are stacked with a bunch of, in my opinion, more hard to get items. These do not come back like the plants outside. But they are for use, and there are a bunch of ingredients that you can only find in the DLC and not in the vanilla game, as well as some potions you can also take on your travels. That's all there, as well as a bookcase with just a bunch of fucking stupid books that you shouldn't bother reading unless, you like reading in a video game. You're weird. Moving on to the Hall of Elements, they add 2 new things. Mr. Sable17 went ahead and added this pedestal, which you can use to practice your illusion, alteration, restoration magic, and then completely refill your magicka, so you can just continuously level up. Yeah, that does that. And then on the sides, you have a couple of potions to increase your magicka and restore your magicka. You could just take those. Those do not restock. And in the final battle with Enchanter at the end of the quest line, they get tossed around quite a bit. There's a notice here you can go ahead and use. You can go ahead and activate. And this kind of just tells you what this plaque or this feature of the mod is. Immediately to the right of that is a golem you can use to practice your offensive spells. What they mean by simple spells is that you can only practice spells in the vanilla game of Skyrim. Any mods that you have installed that fall into the category of destruction magic, you're ultimately running a risk there because Sable 17 doesn't entirely know how the 2 mods might conflict. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, moving on to the Arcanium, which is possibly the coolest part of this entire mod because it completely overhauls the design and feature of this room. As soon as we walk in, we are welcomed by the sight of an alchemy and enchanting station, and the Arcanium has around 7 books, all with that same effect. Little hologram pops out of the book and grants you a buff. For example, that alchemy one increases my potion effectiveness by 10% for about an hour. The enchanting station, just more soul gems, place to enchant. Over here we have the soul gem converter, which you can actually use to break down empty soul gems into bigger soul gems, or bigger soul gems into smaller soul gems. What I initially thought is you can take soul gem fragments that you find laying around the game in like vampire dens and mage hideouts, and convert those into actual usable soul gems. Nope. What it does is it takes like petty soul gems or lesser soul gems and just converts them into bigger soul gems. So you can go ahead and just fill your inventory with soul gems now and use this station to convert them and make more powerful enchantments that way. Alright, moving on to the alchemy part of the room. There is an alchemy cauldron that just in case you're fucking tired of using the regular alchemy set, you will knock this poor butterfly on the table. It's just filled with a bunch more ingredients and skill books, as well as decorative effects of the jar of the bugs in jars. This is the main room of the Arcane IAM, and as you can see, it's been hit with that fucking Hogwarts touch, and everything is enchanted and floating, which is really fucking cool. Already, this feels more like a actual college for magic, and less like a fucking barnyard as in the base game. Man, the base game, yeah, I could see, like, if you download this mod, you're probably never gonna go back to the original College of WInterhold, because this mod just really makes this place like magical and feel much more. Just makes it 10 times better, if anything. Right, like I said before, those skill books you can read to grant yourself a buff in whatever kind of magic you are going to be going for, and help you level up your skills much better. Over here is a table that you can find a couple more skill books, and it seems like people have been studying there, as you can tell by the charcoal finger paints right there. Right here are the rest of the spells, or the rest of the schools of magic that you can get buffs for. As you can see here, it falls under the category of Restoration Studies, and the title of Restoration Studies Major that grants you a buff for 3 hours. Right here is a scroll crafting section. Oh my god, we're not even halfway through this and I'm already going to faint for how much I've been talking. Whew. Alright, but this area of the game, you can use rolls of paper to convert those into scrolls and spell tomes that you don't want to put in your spell book or your spell list, and just convert those into scrolls for one-time use. And that's actually added in the mod, not from any DLC. So I just quickly grabbed this tome of Soul Trap and a roll of paper to make a couple of quick spells. You can actually use the rolls of paper to make notes on the major that you're studying to grant you a little bit more buff, or grant you a better buff for a shorter duration. So you can super train any kind of skill you want by coming to the Arcane IAM. These books actually are not interactable, but it's just really cool how they're in the game. I'm not entirely sure how they made those possible. Nonetheless, really cool. Like them a whole lot. Moving on, over here is the recycling station, where you can use like ruined and burned books to recycle those into paper and convert those into scrolls. And which is a really good feature, because there is some shit in this game that you just wouldn't bother carrying around. Now you can actually carry around ruined books, come back here, and make some useful scrolls out of them. So there you go. But there's a lot of paper over here, so in case like this is it's cool. I'm not gonna knock it. It's a good feature. And I'm just gonna show you here that the scrolls you make for the notes on whatever kind of major you're studying in is found in the potion section, not in the scroll section. Scrolls you make from spell tomes are found in the scroll section, as they would be. Now this is the final room of the mod, or of the college. This is the Archmage's room that you get at the end of the quest line for the College of WInterhold. And as soon as you walk in, you're greeted by a couple of floating orbs, as well as a couple of shelves that I'll get into in a second. And this is ultimately just for decoration. You have a sleeping tree, miniature sleeping tree, again with mage lights attached to it. And this back shelf has, you can just go ahead and plant whatever kind of alchemy or food that you want here. They're going to grow back just as they do in the Hearthstone DLC, given a bit of time. I'm not sure exactly how many you could put in there. I'm pretty sure you could put as many as you want, and then you could just consistently get ingredients back. which is really cool. It gives you a lot more than you would in your garden in the Hearthstone DLC for your house. This is the alchemy station, and you could just come over here and grind out fucking alchemy. You could just spend all day here making potions if you so choose, but like, why would you? Because you could just easily install a mod that helps you do that. But in case you're like me and you like to fucking hustle and suffer, you can do that. And this place also comes equipped with a lot more potent potions that you'll find in the later half of the game. Also some skill books there. The walls are also adorned with a couple of mage lights in the eyeballs there. Moving on to the center portion of the room, there's a giant throne for the archmage to sit, as well as a couple of tables and benches for the senior members, I guess, to hold meetings or whatever. This is an imbuing chamber found in the Dragonborn DLC. And this mod just gives you it, just kind of an express lane. You don't even have to complete the quest line. You can just hop in here and make fucking spider traps and spider bombs. All you need is some spider eggs, some precious gemstones, and a salt, and an elemental salt of your choosing. And the shelves are adorned with magical items that don't really do anything. You can't sell them for much, but they just look really, really cool, as well as some gleam blossoms, another alchemy ingredient that grows back on the shelf. The enchanting station, not much to say here other than you get a plentiful amount of soul gems that you can use to enchant, as well as some scrolls that don't do anything, but there are a couple of spell scrolls right beneath that. There's also a storage place, so you can just put a bunch of items in there. So like you want to grind out your enchanting, just quickly put them in there, as well as a skill book you can read for enchanting right over there. Whew, alright, moving on. This is the staff enchanter found in the Dragonborn DLC again. You can use this to enchant some staffs into actual and make a staff of, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking faint from how much I've been talking. Make some staff for whatever kind of spell that you have, complete with unenchanted staffs off the sides, as well as in the small chest at your feet. And I completely missed the fucking chest. Used the enchanter again, got super frustrated and moved on. But trust me, there are more enchanted staffs right there. Immediately to the left of the staff enchanter is a smelting section, or I should say smithing section, where you can go ahead and make as many weapons, jewelry, and armor as you want, and grind out your smithing skill with a grindstone at the side, as I will show in a second. And a bunch of chests that you can just stow all your shit in until you're ready to sell that. Great place. You can, instead of just like running a white run and then getting over encumbered, you can just come here and grind out your smithing. Immediately to the left of that is another storage area. Again, where you can put some more stuff. 2 pairs of archmage attire, so in case you're running naked in the fields of Skyrim and accidentally lose your powerful mage robes, you can come here and get 2 more replacements. This is me just showing that they have the exact same enchantments, except the one I have equipped is the one you get in the quest line. I'm just going to throw that on the floor like a fucking animal because I'm done with that. This is the bed, and, well, this is the bedroom. You have a couple of weapon racks and a weapon plaque. Do not be fooled. That is not a free Staff of Magnus that you get. I just put it there because I had no use for it. Alright, so the bed is owned. Like, that's just something I guess the mod maker couldn't fix. But you can use that and have massive orgies if you so damn well choose. Over here is the cooking pot and the oven, where you can go ahead and craft your ingredients into delicious meals that you can take on your travels. There you go. A couple more ingredients found immediately to the right of that. This is the oven found in the Hearthstone DLC, so you can make some delicious ass pastries. And to the left of that is a lounging area with another shrine of Julianos affixed to the top of the shelf, and a couple of dried elves' ears for alchemy. Alright, and that about does it. That brings us to the end of the Magical College of WInterhold tour. Go ahead and download this mod yourself and tell me what I missed out on, because chances are I missed out on a hell of a lot in this video. A couple of things to note is that you do not need to start a new game when enabling this mod, although it is recommended, because if you store items in the College of WInterhold before activating this mod, they will be sent to the Shadow Realm to live for eternity, and you can never get those items back. Secondly, there is nothing happening in the Midden. That is ultimately unchanged from the base game, which is why I didn't cover it. Overall, this mod is great. It completely revamps the college from a lackluster and very disappointing area in the game to a arcane school that is on par with any kind of work of fantasy fiction. Secondly, this mod functions great as a utility because if you're starting off a new game and you want to play as a mage, you're going to go to the college and learn a couple of spells or train your spells. Here you can actually do that. There's tons of books available for any school of magic, as well as places to practice them, and granting several buffs so you can level your skills quite quickly. Even if you're not playing as a mage, chances are in your playthrough you're going to stop by the college at least once. And while you're there, might as well take advantage of the resources and services that this mod offers. Thanks for watching. My name is Efrain, and I'm going to go lubricate my vocal cords with some water because it feels like I've swallowed a whole bucket of Sahara Desert from talking this much. Alright, adios.